Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and a warm welcome to you. Welcome back to the Misfits Racing League. This is Tier 3, Round 3 to be precise, in Season 6. It's going to be Australia, so from all the way on the other side of the world, from my point of view at least. A great circuit, although overtaking is going to be a challenge, at least we know that from the real-life experience. The calendar as follows. We've already had 2 races in the Middle East. Bahrain and Saudi Arabia have already been finished. 2 quite interesting races, and both races had an entirely different top 3. Now, you all know that last week I wasn't around for both streams as I had COVID, unfortunately, despite all the vaccines and the booster thingies and stuff. The virus decided it was time to hit me, and it hit me quite hard. Got the fever, throat aches, headaches, muscle aches, pretty much everything you can imagine when you have a pretty bad flu. So I was in bed for at least until Wednesday, all the way from Saturday till Wednesday last week. I was feeling pretty terrible, but I'm back in business. I'm feeling quite well, actually. But you might hear my voice is still a little bit raspy, a bit hoarse. That's 2 reasons. First, of course, throat pains that have been plaguing me last week. And secondly, I haven't been talking an awful lot last week because I was at home, of course. And that tends to kind of make your voice used to that. So pray with me that it will stay just fine. Let's have a little look at the standings for this tier. It is still Ayub leading the championship all the way, but it's only 7 points separating him from Grenade Goran, who had a victory last week, which was reinstated after the Tier 3 verdicts from the FIA came through because of a desync issue. We have 1 change to the roster as well, as Daniel has decided to step away from his Aston Martin seat to be replaced with driver DNB, so a warm welcome to him. Let's hope he, along with XTXP, can bring some much needed points to the Aston Martin team, as they are currently all the way down in the standings and with no points whatsoever. Red Bull then leading the way for the Tier 3 Constructors Championship with 41 points, followed by AlphaTauri, the team of Ayub, who is solely responsible for the 2nd place in their Constructors Championship. So then, Grenade Goran back up all the way till 2nd place on the board. CRB currently in 3rd after his 2nd place last week round. So yeah, there's plenty of interesting things to look forward to tonight. Of course, it's only the 3rd round out of 18. And yes, Ariel, this is indeed a PC League. Glad you're joining in tonight. Good to see you there. Also, welcome to everybody else, of course. I'm very happy to be back in the commentary seat. And as I said, let's just hope all will remain well. A practice race, Reapy. Now you're making me curious. What happened in the practice race in Australia? I know last week in Saudi Arabia, from what I've heard, I haven't seen it unfortunately, as I went to bed pretty early. It was quite chaotic, as the track kind of invites to do. A lot of chaos, safety cars and all the like. I saw plenty of reports, so enough stuff happening. As I said, this will be a bit harder to overtake on this track, so let's see what will happen here. Only 4 finished, wow, okay. That is indeed a mess. Very curious now then about tonight. From my experience at least, Tier 3 is exceptionally clean. So let's hope they can keep up this very high standard they've set for themselves, at least for me then, because I haven't seen last week, of course. We're waiting for 1 more player, Alex GameSim, to join in, and then we should be good to go. In the meanwhile, we can have another in-depth look at these standings. As I said last time, 2 entirely different top 3s. It would be awesome to see another different top 3 this time after the race is done. Which means the competition is very tight in this tier. So let's see what will happen. Thank you, Waffle. Yes, the last player is on his way. And then we'll be ready to go to qualifying. Of course, we haven't seen any rain just yet, as the first 2 races were in a pretty arid location. Both were in the desert, more or less. So Australia might be a good opportunity for us to see some rain for the first time this season in the Misfits Racing League, which always brings a lot of interesting strategies with it, especially if the race switches from dry to wet or vice versa. That's always pretty awesome to see. It always throws away the regular strategies with the hard to soft or soft to hard or whatever you want to do, and whichever works best in a certain race. Of course, if the race is going to be dry, I do suspect we'll see a soft to hard tire strategy here, as I think it favors that strategy the most. Well, let's see what will happen. Alex GameSim didn't receive an invite. Let's hope he'll be able to join quickly. And then we'll be on our way. A little bit of a delay, but you know, those things happen from time to time. So that will allow me to take a bit of water. Because I'm going to need it. Judging from the last time I've commentated in this tier, there's going to be plenty of action. So, soft to medium actually. Okay, interesting. Maybe that's just me who's a bit afraid of tires blowing. So, predictions? I'd like to know from you guys who you think who'll be on pole position and who will be winning the race. We've learned from past experiences that pole position definitely isn't a guarantee to win the race. As it quite often does in the real-life Formula 1 races. Will there be a third different winner this race? I would really like to see at least 6. I'm going to be bold, 8 different winners in every single tier. That would be awesome. 5 driver DNFs. Okay. Okay. Well, that's another bold prediction you're making there, Maxime. But let's see if that happens or not. We are finally getting on the way. The final player has joined the lobby, so within a few seconds the players will be able to choose their tire allocation for the weekend, which actually isn't really possible, but still. So that's what we're waiting for now. Then we'll be on our way. I see several fans of Jones, and I see a 4-door sedan fan there. So let's hope Relax there. Yes, another Relax fan. 10 drivers will finish the race. All right. Mr. Torlash, if that's the case, then I'll be absolutely gobsmacked. Ah! We have Relax's brother. Hello, welcome to the stream. Interesting. Anyway, it's time to move on. Welcome to the live feed from Australia. Despite the high latency from all the way over there, we're doing just fine. And we're waiting for the drivers to come out. If any of the drivers can hear me, please let me know what the weather prediction is going to be for this race. Let me actually quickly move my keyboard. Apologies for the incoming noise. Completely forgot to do that. I need to rewire my microphone a little bit. There we go. Perfect. All right, we're good to go. Let's learn on some interesting details here. The track map is always good to know, and we can already see several drivers leaving the pit lane. One of them being Ayrton Torlashi, and for some reason the game decides not to show me where he is on track at the moment. There we are. Let's follow Grenade Goran then instead, who is now out on track. The first driver to be out on track tonight. Let's have a little look at the tires that every driver is going to be trying to set a time on. So far, only XTXP has put on the medium tires, but he's still in the box, probably waiting to see what everybody else is going to do. And so far, it looks like he's the only one. But then again, things can change pretty quickly. Grenade Goran, the man who nearly won the Tier 4 championship in MRL Season 5. Didn't manage to do so quite yet. His championship lead was snatched away by Polypunk, who's currently in Tier 2 in the final few races last time round. Yeah, looks like XTXP is going to try it anyway, Maxime. So it's going to be interesting to see where he'll end up. As far as I'm aware, it's going to be very far below the top 10. So then here he comes, Grenade Gorn, getting ready for his hot lap out into the main straight, and the DRS is going to be online. Several drivers exiting the pit lane just ahead. One of the Red Bulls, for example, just ahead of Grenade Gorn there. So let's hope he'll make room. First two corners, always pretty difficult to take there in terms of track limits. You have to be absolutely nailing it in order to make sure you will not get a lap invalidation. Turn 3 and 4. Also quite tricky, if from my experience at least, and especially what's coming up next here. This part can be on full throttle, but you'll have to be careful, especially with the right-hand curbs, as they will make you spin out quite easily. So there he goes then, into the second sector. Already I've lost count of the number of corners we're in it, so please forgive me about that one. Now this part of the track is going to be different from next year onward, at least in real life that is. It's going to be easier to overtake here due to the turns previously changing a little bit. This part, not a very tricky bit here, these two corners, and he's losing it. I completely jinxed Grenade Goron there. Oh dear. That's his lap done, so let's switch to the driver right behind him who managed to make the corner safely. That's the first jinx of the night. Somebody keep a jinx counter, commentator's curse counter for me there, please. As you all know, I'm pretty good at that one. Here he comes then, Ayrton Torlashi, in the final two sets of corners. The final one here, onto the main straight, and let's see what the... Oh dear, he's lost it as well! Wow, okay, this is setting the tone for something interesting. Wow. That means that Ian, in fact, is now the first driver to set a time, with a 21.963. Oh my. Two drivers in a row lost their car. Several, that's different bits of the track, of course, but dearie me, that's not good. Not good at all. That means that Ayrton is now a 1 minute 27, and he's having to drive back all the way back to the pit lane without a front wing, which is going to cost him very valuable time indeed. Let's see. No, Grenade Gorn has already entered pit lane again. His teammate has just set a 22.3 as Ayub. The current championship leader is gone fastest overall with way more than half a second ahead of Ian. So that's a shockingly good time compared to the rest. That will set the bar very high for every other driver on the track. Speaking of which, let's have a little look at Max O'Connor coming in at P5 at the moment. X-Kirby replacing the other Alpine driver. Here at the moment, it is, I believe, it's Reflexes that actually being replaced here tonight. He could make it as well as back row in the Alfa Romeo, not there tonight, replaced by Archuo, currently in P8. As Relax goes even faster with a 21.3. Looks like to me his brother's cheering is helping out quite well there, as he's now fastest overall. It's only 4 100ths of a second though, so it's not a great margin, but it is fastest for now. Here comes then the reserve driver, X-Kirby. He's gonna have to live up to certain expectations, as his, the one he's replacing has done quite well last time round. So let's see what he'll do. They are very tight on the track limits there. No invalidation, I believe it was just right, just on. And there he comes around the final corner. Let's hope nothing wrong happens there, and it doesn't. He's going to go very nice and straight, very strong exit there, but not a very fast lap time with a 24.794, now sitting in P14 for the time being. Switching to Jasko then, one of the few drivers not having set a time, and one of them who's on a hot lap at the moment, the other Alfa Romeo driver with a permanent seat in Tier 3. And he's lost the car. That's the counter up to 3, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. He's lost the car. That's the third driver in the span of about 5 minutes that has lost the car on a certain part of the track. Ooh dear, it's painful to see. Really painful. He's gonna have to recharge the batteries, and I wonder if the tires are still good enough, and he loses it another time! And no damage, thankfully, because I believe The rear wing cannot take damage with the lobby settings at the moment, but his tires are clearly overheated, and if I were him, I'd return back to the pit lane. 69 jinxes, let's see if that will work out, but so far it's 3. Let's count this man as 1, please. It can take damage, oh dear. Well, then pray with me that Jesko will not have rear wing damage, otherwise that will impede the rest of his qualifying, but there's still about 11 minutes remaining. He is gonna go for another run though. His tires are fine according to himself, and there he goes. The battery though is not online, so I'm not entirely sure what the plan is here. Maybe he's gonna go for another cooldown lap. It looks like he's going full out. It looks like he's going full out, but he's not using the battery. Consider me confused. I'm very confused about what he's doing here. It doesn't look like a cooldown lap. He's going all out, and even without ERS, he nearly loses control of the car. My, oh my, oh my, oh my, what a day this man's having. Let's quickly switch to another person. XTXP here already invalidated his lap. Let's go to Alex GameSim, who's about to set a lap time there. 23.9, currently 14th fastest overall. Switching back to Grenade Goran, it's just coming onto the main straight. Can he actually go to provisional pole position? No, it's P5 only for the moment. Over 6/10 slower than the current pole sitter Relax in his McLaren. So that is 5th place for the man who is 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. His teammate coming up behind him on an outlap, Sam there in P7 at the moment. New Aston Martin driver DNB is currently in P6, so that's a great start on his debut here on track. Switching to Ayub Khan then, who's getting ready actually. He's already going for the hot lap at the moment here. Let's stick with his car and see what he can do. Well, this is a very tricky track it turns out to be. Everybody's pushing very hard. And Jesko then coming in with a 24.3 without any ERS. Not sure if he's realized yet. And there we go then, purple first sector for Ayub. He's going faster already than Relax. 7/100ths of a second is currently enough to claim provisional pole position. But of course, Relax preparing himself for a hot lap as well. So let's see what this man can do, and then quickly switch to the current pole sitter, Relax. Another driver trying to get close is Pixon, who is currently about 4/10 slower than P2. So that's quite a large gap there, as Grenade Goran is currently making way for his main rival there. 7 points separates these two drivers here. And he's invalidated the lap. Ayub Khan is going to have to try again. Just as he's about to finish the lap, it's over. So switching to Relax then. What can he do? We'll be seeing very soon if he can improve his time. Ayub was on his way to a provisional pole position. And although it looked like there, Relax is losing the car there. He might have been put up a little bit there by the Mercedes, who was trying to get out of the way. But that is his hot lap done as well. My god, I think I should just show anybody else that isn't setting a fast lap time at the moment, because it's absolutely terrifying how much jinxing is going on tonight. Here it comes then. Ian currently going to try to set a faster lap here, as Alex is moving out of his way as well. And we have a crash. Laviva Soul is out of qualifying. His car spun and he's no longer present here. Now let's see what Ian can do. Can he improve? He can. It's up to P3. It's just over 2/10 slower. No, over 1/10 slower in fact than Relax. A very tricky track indeed. Laviva Soul then already out of qualifying. Not able to set a quick time there. He's P18 only and no longer having a chance to improve it any longer, as his car is beyond repair. So much going on in qualifying already. That's going to be interesting here then. Max O'Connor currently improving by 0.2 of a second in Sector 1. That will currently bring him up to about P7, if it stays as it is. Watch PW Jones. Let's have a little look at PW Jones. Here he is. Looks like he's actually recharging, not setting a quick time at the moment. He's entering pit lane. He's currently hanging in P16 only, so not good. I see a bit of front wing there in the pit entry lane. Interesting. Ayrton Torlashi also entering the pit lane, currently sitting 9th overall. Let's see if anybody's trying to do a hot lap here. Sam's battery is recharging, so that's not a hot lap coming from him. Pixon is trying to set a lap here, currently 6th place. Let's see how much he can improve as he comes into the main straight over the line. And P6 with a 1 minute 21.690, just ahead of Hacko DK, the Williams driver, with a 21.846. I cannot judge that, unfortunately, Thyson, if the stream is grainy or not. It's the stream at the moment. Okay, well, it's better than all the lag we've experienced in the first time I tried to stream from my new PC. As long as you can see what's going on, it should be fine. Let's hope it will improve at some point. Let's switch then to the reserve driver in the Alfa Romeo, who has invalidated his lap already, and therefore will be forced to return to the pit lane because his battery is pretty much drained. It's getting quiet out on track. Not many drivers are currently attempting a lap. I know Max O'Connor has already set one. Pixon's already done a lap. And it looks like Ayrton is already out on his, what I think is going to be his final attempt. Wyfoon is just ahead of him. Who's actually driven an interesting time, a 1:22 precisely. And Grenade Goran with a 1:22.002. So that's 2 milliseconds separating P8 and P9. Very interesting to see that one. I think Wyfoon is not driving a hot lap at the moment as he takes a massive way off the track to make way for Ayrton. That didn't work out as Ayrton is still behind him at the moment. So let's see what the only remaining Ferrari driver can do. Can he enter the top 10? He's about 6/100ths of a second away from the top 10. But of course, everybody ahead of him is probably going to improve, or at least attempt to improve their times in the remaining final 4 minutes of this short qualifying session. Here he comes then, Ayrton Torlashi, going out on the flying lap. Around the final corner, solid exit. You'll need that if you want to be quick here. And there we go then, the timer has started, the stopwatch is online. And let's see what will happen, very tight on the track limits. Of course the final run is going to be the run you'd want to make. The track should now be at the optimal temperature, there should be plenty of rubber for the grip. And therefore the time should be the fastest. That's the usual rule. A bit of oversteer there as he comes through the tricky section of corners there. But he can go full throttle here. It looks like it's going to be fine. 23 milliseconds only faster in Sector 1. Of course, there's still 2 sectors to go. So plenty of room for improvement there. Especially in the 3rd sector with the trickiest set of corners coming up very soon. As he is approaching the long left-hander here at the end of the 2nd sector. The improvement now has turned into a 1/10th improvement, and the game notes that as a purple sector there, which I kind of doubt, as he will currently drive at 1:21.9, which is very much slower than Ayoub, who's currently in provisional pole with a 21.1. Having beaten Relax at the moment for provisional pole position. Here it comes then, the final sets of corners. And let's see what his time will be. Here he is. Ayrton Torlashi will move himself up to P7. That's a pretty impressive improvement there. Almost 4/10ths quicker than his previous attempt. But let's see what the rest will do, especially here Ayoub Khan on his hot lap. Actually, that's not his hot lap, it seems. Relax, though, is on a hot lap, and he's getting a tow from his teammate there. Brilliant teamwork from Max O'Connor and Relax. So that might just help Relax to gain those tiny extra bits of time that he needs to reclaim that provisional pole. But he goes wide, and it's over. That's his lap done. No more chance, as he was 2.5 quicker on this run. It could have been pole position there, as XTXP has made a brilliant lap time to put himself into 2nd place onto the front row. Now, as requested, let's switch to PW Jones, who's coming around the final corner there, going very wide, no invalidation though. The game thinks that's just fine, and it's going to be a 1:21.973 P11, which is quite ideal if you want a free tire choice for the race. Relax then crashing out. It's going to be even worse then for the man who was on provisional pole for so long. Crashed out of qualifying and no longer getting that final chance to improve. So he'll stay in P3 at least for now, as several drivers behind him are trying to improve. Sam, for example, 24 milliseconds slower right now than his previous attempt. And let's see what his teammate will do. He might try and get him a tow there, Grenade Goran, who is just ahead of him. No, he's moving out of the way, making room for his teammate there. As Sam is now 31 milliseconds faster. It's not enough to improve himself a position, as an Alex Game Sim comes across the line with a 21.5, improving himself to P4 at the moment. A very nice time for him there. And Sam is about to cross the line there, 31 milliseconds faster in Sector 2, as I said before. Let's see what he can do. As the qualifying is about to finish, he's improving himself to a 21.4, and that's his qualifying over P4 right now. So that's a very nice position for him to start the second row onto the grid. As his teammate is now given a final chance to improve his time. Let's see what Grenade Goran can do, as we have an Alfa Romeo facing the wrong way. And it looks like Grenade Goran was just barely able to move away from that car. He's in a pretty inconvenient position there, as another Alfa Romeo now retires. CRB retires, probably because of the Alfa Romeo in the way, because on the map it looks like he just crashed just after the Alfa Romeo's position. So that's no good news for him there. Let's see who it was. It wasn't Artuo. I think Jasko. Yeah, Jasko retired while his car was on an inconvenient position, so that probably caused his AI to drive backwards and then into CRB. Though that's definitely not good news for him. Grenade Goran then, P14 only and 3 milliseconds slower than his previous attempt. He will not like that if he wants to challenge the top of the championship. He's gonna have to drive a mighty race if he stays there, but he can still do it in the final sector. I mean, 2/10 is already enough to climb several positions there onto the grid. Let's see what will happen. Round the final corner then, the man in P2 in the driver standings. What is he gonna do when he comes across the line? It's going to be a 121. It is a 121.9. It's only P12 then. So not a great starting position for Grenade Goran. Wyfoon in the meanwhile improving, yet staying in P14. So it looks like that is it then, unless Hako can improve his time. No, he can't. He's actually slowed down, which means he really wants that P11. So there we have it then. Ayub Khan once again on pole position. Sam, who's made another mighty attempt there, but not able to improve just enough. He's in the front row now though. Pixon in P3. Oh dear, I completely removed the standings there. And XTXP then no longer on the front row, fall into 4th place. That's an interesting camera point of view there. A tough race indeed, PW Jones. P13 for you it is. Just have a look at the gaps though. The top 10 is almost within half a second of one another. And then we'll have to scroll down all the way to P16. And everything from there until the top is within 1 second of one another. So it's insanely close. X-Kirby then, quite off the pace compared to the rest of the grid, sitting in last place. La Viva Soul not being able to improve, so therefore his time is probably not representative of what he can do, but you never know. 4-door sedan in P18, probably disappointed. So there we have it then. Qualifying for this tier is over. Let's go to the race. And let's see what the weather will do. So far though, it looks like it's going to be dry. No rain, I think. I haven't seen any weather update in the chat yet, unless I missed it. Looks like I haven't though. The countdown has started for the formation lap. Predictions for the winner, let me know in the chat who you think will win this race tonight. Ayub is looking strong. He's well over a 10th ahead in qualifying. That's always a good sign for him. Sam with a surprise 2nd place. A 10th isn't a lot, but you never really know how things will go. There we are then, on the starting grid. Let's check out the tires. Interesting. Very much different strategies. We have 2 drivers below the top 10 starting on the softs. And, oh, we already have a Mercedes crashing out. What on earth is going on? We have Alex Game Sim, I believe, yes, who's decided to turn right a bit too soon on the track. Well, that just happened. His car is already dirty. Good man. He's making up the ground, getting back to his actual position, P6, but I'm afraid not every driver is going to accept that, especially Jasko, who's weaving to get his tires warmed up, and therefore both of them have been disqualified. Excitement in the formation lap, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this race. Oh, dearie me. There's going to be some discussion, I'm afraid. Anyway... back to what I was talking about, the different strategies. 2 drivers outside of the top 10 on the softs. X-Kirby on the hards and the rest on the medium tires. I think you guys in chat will agree with each other that medium to soft or soft to medium is the best strategy. Yeah, I probably jinxed it, Big Turbina, like I jinxed literally everybody else tonight, so yeah. There you have it. The drivers are making their way to their grid position on the start line after their tires have gotten some much needed temperature in order to get their cars away from the line as smoothly as possible. This is what the game thinks the strategies are going to be. Of course, we can simply ignore that as it's not true. We all know that we like to do a whole lot of different things. Here they come then, onto the grid. Final bit of tire warming from the rears especially. That's where you'll need the grip the most from the line. And then you'll have to do it all by yourself, as they're all slowly rolling onto their grid positions. Looks like everybody is pretty much ready to roll. Let's see who comes off the line the best. Will XTXP still lead into the first corner? It's 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are on our way. Looks like a pretty good start from all the top 4 there. Behind them, though, there's several scraps going on for position already, but it looks like Sam is trying to go into the lead. He was temporarily ahead, nearly pushing Ayub Khan there away to scramble himself into the lead, and we see several things happening behind. We see the other Mercedes now having a problem there as he crashes, but not out of the race just yet. Many things already happening. Sam trying to fight Ayub there, and it's immediately a safety car. The first safety car is coming within the first half a lap of the race. And Ayub, after trying hard, has still retained the lead. It didn't go as smoothly as he probably would have hoped, as Sam got from the line away just a little bit better. So for now he's in the lead. XTXP is now in 3rd place. Relax into 4th. And let's see how the positions have changed. Mostly thanks to Pixon. A lot of drivers have made up positions, but Max O'Connor is now right behind his teammate after starting in 8th position. So that's good news for him, and he smashes the bollard out of happiness. Who's ready for Monaco? Well, I think everybody here is. So then, a safety car in the very opening phase of the race. I think mostly the race leader will be quite happy with that one, as he already realized that Sam is going to put up a fight, as Grenade Goran as well has been involved into the carnage of the first lap, with Pixon probably having contact with another driver. And look at this, the race leader is going for the alternate strategy. He's going to come in and he's going to switch to the hard tires. He's going to try and go until the end of the race. Interesting. Will he hold it out? Look at that. He's immediately going full wheel spin out the pit lane, trying to get as much heat into the tires as he can, even though the safety car is going to stay out at least another lap. But it looks like a show of dominance. It could work, yes. Curious to see if he can make it work. This man's got very good pace. So, you never know. This man might make anything work. Yes, that's a fair point indeed. So that means now Sam is leading the race, followed by XCXP, Relax and Max O'Connor. Reserve driver Archio in the Alfa Romeo now in P5, Hacko in 6th, and Luke at PW Jones already in P8. But the man who's made up most positions is Lafifa Sol. After crashing out in qualifying, he's just managed to avoid every single incident on track and made up 10 places in less than half a lap. That's absolutely wild. He's now sitting in 9th place. Wow. Of course, we'll have to take note about the fact that several drivers are pitted, so it's not 10 places technically. But for now, it's looking very impressive. The field then bunched up together almost. We're waiting for Pixon and Ian. Ian, who's lost a lot of positions as well. He started in 7th. He went into the carnage and had to replace his front wing. He's gone for the medium tires. Let's see everybody who is pitted. Is everybody from P11 and lower? What tires they've chosen? It looks like Ayub and Ayrton are going the long run. And everybody from X Kirby down is going for another stop. And it's going to be tough for Ayub and Ayrton to keep this up if they want to finish the race, of course, on those tires. Maybe they are... No, if they were predicting another safety car, they wouldn't have gone in the hards. They are predicting that everybody's going to go without another safety car. And even then, those tires are going to be very old by the time the guys behind them switch to soft tires. Which means they'll be a lot slower. So we have a bit of confusion going on. What's going on here? Oh dear, driver DNB is spun out under the safety car. Is now in last position, the new Aston Martin driver. So there have been several other drivers have been given a free position, basically, more or less. The group is bunched together. I wonder if the safety car decides if it's time to come in or not. I think it will be. Yeah, let's see what will happen as we have another position switch here with four-door sedan going a bit too slow for Ayub's taste. You want him here? This man really wants to get on the way, isn't he? The AlphaTauri driver leading the championship at the moment. His main rival down in P17, but on a faster tire and potentially the quicker strategy. Anyway, back to the front of the field. Let's see what will happen to those 5 runners on the soft tires, still in the top 5, all of them. Four-door sedan is the only other driver still in the soft tires. Hasn't taken the opportunity to pit. And let's see what they all will do. Who is going to be awake and who has dozed off while Sam is trying to make them all a bit dizzy with his weaving there. Of course, all that is to get heat into the tires. Let's see what happens. And there he goes, I think. Yes, he's off. He is off indeed. And it looks like a great restart. XTXP was not paying that much attention. And it looks like everybody is off on their way, and we have already several drivers having a look at one another. X-Kirby having a look at Ayrton. Torlashi is getting pushed off in the meantime by the Alpine driver there as he makes his way into P12. And Waifun now past Hacko into 6th place. Several things are happening now in the back here. Everybody tussling for a position, as especially Ayrton Torlashi is losing all the positions due to his hard tires. Everybody is swarming in up at the moment. The Ferrari is getting eaten up by all the medium tire users. CRB is already having a very tight look there at Alex Game Sim, but not being able to get past us. He's now in the middle of a Mercedes sandwich in 15th position. But it looks like now Almost everybody's gone away, and we have XTXP. Oh, dearie me! He's completely lost it there after the restart, out of second place, all the way down to the bottom of the pack. And he's very, very, very far behind. That's not a great, in fact a terrible restart there for the man who really wanted to get a podium tonight. But now it looks like it's game over, at least for the time being. Back to the front of the pack then, where things are apparently happening. Sam has managed to pull a 1.4 second gap to relax after XTSP has moved out of the way, more or less. And now he's getting chased down by Max O'Connor and Archuo in the Alfa Romeo. Wyfoon in the meanwhile now into 5th place after XTXP is spun out. And there might be some rear wing damage for XTXP indeed. Thank you for pointing that one out, the legend. But anyway, other than those two incidents with Grenade Goran and several others, we have now X-Kirby going very, very slow. Not entirely sure what happened there, but he's lost several positions now. He was in 13th place and is now fallen down all the way to P18. Now let's see if he can keep up with the pace. And here he is then, the man starting in P19 all the way up to P8. Looking very strong after his disastrous qualifying. He needs to make up what he's lost there. Looks like this man easily has top 10 pace, so let's hope for him that he can keep up. So here's how it stands then. Sam leading the race as he's already starting to lose time to relax. Who's closing the gap rapidly. He's pretty much halved the gap since last lap. It was 1.4 seconds, it's now 0.7 of a second. And DRS will be enabled from the line. And let's see what will happen then. The fight for the lead is definitely on. It's 2 McLarens versus 1 Haas. And then there's several other drivers hanging in at the moment. The top 5 are all within 1 second of each other. As Hacko is trying to keep up with them. Relax now setting the fastest lap time, a 25.400. And PW Jones is hunting down his teammate now to gain that position. And the fight between the Williamses will soon be on. In the meanwhile, we have a fight in the back of the grid. Oh dear, we have a massive crash there between an Aston Martin and the Red Bull. It's Ian and driver DMB. And as we have another DNF here from Archuo, in fact, who's crashed out as well. Dearie me, so many things are happening. And that's the second safety car. The second safety car has come out this race. We are only in lap 6. And already carnage is dominating Tier 3 tonight. And there goes Ayoub's race indeed. What will he do now? He can't switch to the mediums. Those will not last till the end of the race. Neither will the softs. So it's interesting to see what he will do. There's so many things happening. If you're looking at one thing, another thing has happened as well. So we missed the DNF of Archuo. That is 1 out of 5 DNFs for Maxime's prediction. Race leader then coming into the pit lane. Relax following suit. Max O'Connor is going in as well. Wyfoon in the mediums, interestingly, is going to come in too. And Hacko then will be leading the race ahead of his teammate. So that means a temporary Williams 1-2 as we get a penalty for Pixon, who's crashed with Kirby. Mediums are easy now, alright. I want to tell that to Ayoub, who's currently stuck within a bit of chaos here. Back into 5th place, but these cars are going so slow. What's going on here? They're going so slow that the pack is pretty much bunched up besides one another. Interesting. So then, that means Williams in P1 and P2, followed by Lavifa Sol, who started in 19th, is now up to 3rd place. Very good. But he still has to pit, as has 4-door sedan. He's still driving around on those soft tires. I'm afraid those will not last another 6 or 7 laps. So now the strategies are truly alternate, especially within McLaren's team, where Relax has gone to the soft tires and his teammate Max O'Connor has gone to the mediums. If you say if you say what you say is true, that the meetings will last to the end, that means Relax, Wyfoon, and X-Kirby might have screwed themselves. Ah, a glitched game. That explains a lot. I wonder if that's the case for Wyfoon and X-Kirby as well then. Now that would be something, getting red tires, especially in the rain. So a lot of chaos. That's how we can currently summarize Tier 3. So many things happening that I cannot keep up with all the stuff. So what will Relax do? Will he come in and switch to another... Yes, he has no choice. He's got no choice. It's super unfortunate for him though. And look at this. Hako come in as well for a fresh set of tires. A bit late. A fresh front wing though. I think he's bumped into the safety car. And he's gone through the hard tires. He's got no choice there. He started on the medium, so you'll have to switch to another compound. And the hard tire it is. I think a lot of drivers have been screwed by the safety cars tonight. A lot of drivers. Either that or glitched pit strategies. Great Goran is coming in again as well. Onto a set of medium tires that are currently 1 lap old. My oh my oh my, what a race this has been already. Look at this, PW Jones then leading the race. And look at the position change, especially for 3 out of the top 4. PW Jones started in 13th, now in 1st. Lavifa Soul in P19, now in 2nd. And Jesko, who started in 14th, sorry, in P16, is now in P4. And Ayub Khan, the man who started in pole position, screwed by the second safety car, still on his hard tires, because he basically has got no option. Safety car in this lap then. That means PW Jones will lead the field for the second time. As in the second restart for this race. He will not lead the field the second time actually. Oh dear. Let's hope everybody's going to be careful now and that the incidents will be behind us. PW Jones leading the field. And let's see what everybody behind him will do. Overtaking in turn 1 is always a bit tricky. Especially after a safety car restart, you'll have to be seriously awake if you want to pull off a move there. Either that or the driver ahead of you has to be extremely asleep. More or less. Here he comes then, onto the main straight. He will slowly sail, and he is away. It looks like a great restart, in fact, just as great as Relax had earlier. 7/10 of a gap already to Lavifa Soul. Ayub Khan has already closed the gap pretty much. He's trying to get past him, but as I said, overtaking in turn 1 is quite difficult. CRB very close on the rear of Alex Game Sims Mercedes there, but no chances just yet. And it looks like for the first time, everybody's gone through the first 2 corners safely. I can no longer jinx it. Finally, it happened. PW Jones pulling away slowly but surely, trying to get outside of that DRS range as soon as he possibly can. The Williams then leading the race. Ayub Khan with his hard tires, pressurizing the Ferrari ahead of him. Jesko is actually keeping up quite easily with the AlphaTauri ahead of him, battling for the podium positions, but we do need to keep in mind that many in the top 5, or top 6 even, have yet to pit. The de facto race leader, Sam, at least I think he's going to be the de facto race leader. If Ayub is going to pit, which I seriously doubt, is now sitting in 8th position. He has pitted and he's already using up a lot of battery and trying to attack CRB for P7. He's having a look, but it's not happening just yet as we have another disaster for Relax. After being screwed by a pit stop there, he's now lost control of the car and is all the way in the rear in the last place. So an absolute disastrous race there for the man in the McLaren who nearly grabbed pole position. Now in last place. Jones is going Jones mode. Let's see if he can hold it up though. as chasing packs right behind him. Ayub Khan is keeping up with the rest of the field with those medium tyres which are getting older and older. All of them 10 laps old, as old as the race has been actually, as neither of the drivers in front and behind him have pitted. Jesko though, keeping up quite nicely despite his older tyres. Ayrton Tolashi trying to close the gap to the Alfa Romeo ahead of him. But so far the field looks like it's a bit more stable now. And this is what I'd like to see. Sam is putting some serious pressure there on CRB, who's been on the podium already once this season. And Sam would really like to see that podium as well. Haas needs some points, as does Aston Martin, but neither Aston Martin car is in the top 10 at the moment. That's why Froome has made a pit stop, is now far behind in last place. Probably some damage there. It might have been the contact with Relax, possibly. But for now, we will not know. Switch a bit to driver DNB, who's putting pressure on X Kirby on the soft tires, the Alpine drivers at the moment, but it looks like driver DNB is easily keeping up with him, and now is putting up a load of pressure on the Alpine driver, nearly losing the car there. A lot of oversteer, but he's using all of his battery now. He's getting closer and closer, but I don't think it's going to be close enough just yet to gain P11 at the moment. Sam, in the meanwhile, is getting really tussling there with CRB. Is going side by side. He's going to try and have a go around the outside. CRB is trying to defend the inside here, which is clever, forcing Sam off the track there, which is a fair move as he was right behind him there. And he is still ahead for the time being, as we have another spin. I'm afraid it is driver DMB trying to attack X Kirby, who is now safe for the time being. What has happened there? What has happened? Trying to take the Alpine there somehow around the out or the inside. So that's even worse news for the Aston Martin team. XCXP then. Ian is getting swarmed by so many drivers. What's going on here? It looks like he's got front wing damage. Yes, indeed he does. He's got damage to the right side of the front wing at the moment, which is slowing him down a lot, allowing many drivers to get past. XTXP now back in 12th place, but he was in second just a few laps ago, so that's absolutely terrible for him. Now let's see what DRS will do for Ayub and Jesko, as both of these guys will have to try and go as driver DNB spins out once more now. Even worse. I was about to say they couldn't get any worse, but apparently it can. Looks like Ayub is not going to be close enough to Latifi Soul, but it looks like Jesko is actually trying to have a go, but for now it's not working out just yet, as Ayub has DRS as well, and he spins! He loses the car! The man who was actually trying to win the race, and he smashes his Tauri into a Mercedes! My god, this is just not ending tonight! Killed the McLaren. Well, unfortunately, he nearly killed the Mercedes. Absolute disaster. Losing the car. And while he's lost the car, he smashes into, I think it was Alex. Yes, another front wing lost. And that's the third safety car on a reduced safety car lobby. My god. It just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It just won't stop. Hold your brakes, yes. That's some advice there, but Ayub probably very frustrated right now. And a penalty as well. I think that was a penalty. A drive-through penalty now, in fact, for going too fast on the safety car regulations. This man, I don't think he's going to win the race, because we all know drive-through penalties can only be taken when the safety car is not out. 25% track time behind the safety car. Yes, it is. But it's still going to be full points. So then that means indeed, except Jesko, PW Jones and other drivers are coming in for their first pit stop at last. Latifi Soul and CRB as well. One of the few drivers who haven't yet made a pit stop in this race. As Alex is getting a 5-second penalty for being in the pit lane, probably due to his broken front wing. Ayub also coming in there. Let's see what he will do. Will he give up or will he continue? That's the big question. He's lucky with the safety car though, so he can catch up again. But of course, there's still that drive-through he has to take. Sure, there's more to come. Let's hope you're wrong, Fubar. I dearly hope you're wrong. Not because it's you, because just because, you know, 3 safety cars is enough. It is enough. So that means now Jasko is leading the race. We've already seen like 5 or 6 different race leaders due to all the chaos. And if I recall correctly, that means... No, he was already stopped actually. Oh, interesting. So everybody's stopped at least once. Some drivers have already stopped 3 times. Ray Goran, ex-Kirby, Ian, driver DNB, and Awai Foon stopping 3 times already. The drivers with the 1 stop are the lucky ones. Although we can say Pixon is also pretty lucky with 2 stops, currently sitting in 5th place. Let's see how their tires are doing. Yeah, Jasko and Ayrton with the oldest tires of the field. Especially Ayrton is going to feel the pain soon, I'm afraid. Although Jasko might feel it as well. With 16 laps still to go. These tires are going to be absolutely ancient by the end of the race. Great, Goran back into 9th place. And this is the reason why you never give up. You never know what will happen, especially tonight, where everything happens, basically. But you know, it keeps it fun to commentate, so I hope you're enjoying it at least. I like GameSim coming in for his 3rd... No, that's his 3rd or 4th stop. Dear me. It's going to be his 3rd. Anyway, this safety car has given me the opportunity to get me some water. Surprisingly, my voice is still doing alright, so I'll be back in a moment. There we go. Back in business. Somebody's got FPS issues in the main straight. Everyone crash out. I'm back already. So, yeah, not going to happen. XTXP. Well, fortunately for him, he does... he has crawled back up to 6th place. So despite all the horrible luck he's having tonight, he's back well within the points and not too far off from a podium. And this man on the soft tires, which are 1 lap old, I doubt he's going to make that last till the end. Interesting, he's going to make another stop, and I think PW Jones is convinced there's going to be another safety car, otherwise he's pretty screwed. He has the best engineer. Now you're making me curious who it is. Whoa, Jasko, be careful there, especially Ayrton, you man. Trying to have a look there at the Alfa Romeo, just saying hello, but nearly crashing into one another. Ah, it's you, I see. One Torleschi cheering on the other Torleschi. Let's see what he can do then on the race restart on his hard tires. 12 laps old, in fact. And Jasko is off. A good restart from him as well. Looks like the best of the restarts by far. As Sam is now back in 3rd place. We have, I saw for a moment the yellow flag, but it's looking like it's alright. Ayub Khan heading into the pit lane for his drive-through penalty. He's got no choice. He has to take it one point or another. At least he'll have a clear air to drive the tires under his car. That's probably a terrible saying anyway. Ayrton then struggling with his tires as Sam is already putting pressure. He's back into 3rd place, trying to get back into winning positions now there. Max O'Connor in the meanwhile in the McLaren right behind him, and it looks like everybody has gone up safely as ex-Kirby is holding up the pack behind him. He's so far off the pace. Everybody is basically bunching up there as we have another DNF. Ian, along with driver DNB, are out of the race. I think they've crashed into one another, and that's a disastrous evening for, for both of them. ending in the wall. And that's, oh my god, it's safety car number 4. Well, let's do another safety car. It's good for my voice. I can't blame you, Wisp. I can't blame you. There is no limit. No, there isn't, the legend. I wish I could do something about it. Interestingly though, Jesko and Ayrton decided to stay out. Especially Ayrton, I would have thought he would come in. 4 is the limit. Well, let's hope so, because we're halfway in the race. And, well, it's no longer 33% safety cars, but it's like 50% safety car, even more. But definitely, it might have been forgotten, the reduced safety car setting. Because it's just as insane. The roller really differs per track, I think, on how often safety cars come out. And what the game considers to be a safety car situation is also a bit questionable at times. But I think mostly, if we're honest, it's because the driving isn't, let's be fair, it's not what I'm used to see from this tier. 4th safety car. FIFA Soul getting a 5-second penalty. He got the 5-second penalty when his AI was driving around, so that's interesting. Yes, this track is indeed very, very tricky, so maybe we shouldn't be surprised that the safety cars come out this often. But right now, if Maxime, if you're still watching, it's 3 out of 5 DNFs. Oh my god, what's going on here? What the flip happened? What's going on? That's 6 DNFs! What is this? I think I saw a bit of a lag spike and suddenly FIFA Soul's tires were off. I am forwards and now the road is blocked. Ayub is probably really surprised. What the hell happened here? I think the safety car is going to stay out a bit longer, I'm afraid. Welcome to Formula 1, the greatest comedy show on the planet. Yeah. Oh my god. Xkirby is saying in the chat that it's Codemaster's netcode doing something. Oh no, Love with the Soul said Codemaster's killed him. Oh my god. It does mean free soft tires for several drivers. Hacko, Wyfoon, Forters, Dan and XCXP all switching to the fastest tire. The lobby isn't broken. That's for sure. It's just, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words as well. I'm just as weirded out as you guys are. But hey, we're trying to keep this entertaining, so let's do this. Let's hope there are going to be some racing tonight, as in 5 laps or more. Several drivers pointing out their disappointment in the chat at the moment in Discord. If you're not in Discord yet, make sure to join in. MRL is a great place to be. After all, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this racing league. As in, I wouldn't be in this commentary position. Yeah, there are several things that are up to the game, but there's also quite a few things that are up to driving tonight. I know I'm the commentator and I'm not really in the position to criticize, but I've seen some questionable things going on. It already started during the formation lap, where for some reason Alex GameSim decided to turn right 200 meters before he was supposed to turn right. And then trying to get past everybody while Jesko was still leaving, which caused the first disqualification. As in formation lap disqualification. So then Hako and XCSP going for another pit stop there, trying to get their tires as fresh as they possibly can. 14 drivers remain, 6 of them are out. Maxime's prediction has come true, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't want to blame the game or the drivers, you can blame it on him. Because he jinxed it badly. So fingers crossed, the safety car is most likely going to come in and we'll have 11 laps of racing, I suppose. It's better than nothing. Yep, there we are. Safety car in this lap. Jesko still leading the field. Ayrton's still behind him and Sam still in third place. Now, their tires are getting pretty old, especially Jesko's and Ayrton's. So it's going to be interesting to see what will happen there. I think all predictions can be thrown out of the window now. Who would have seen this one coming? Jesko leading the race, Ayrton in second, Sam... Well, he was pretty high up there already. And he's already back up to third. I think this man is very likely to win the race. As we have both of the drivers ahead getting a 5-second penalty due to a collision. Which means Ayrton might have front wing damage as he's really slow through the final corner. But Sam is going to have to wait until he can get past there. And Max O'Connor is trying to gain some advantage from that there as he's trying to go side by side with him. Now Sam in fact is side by side with Ayrton Toleshi, who's getting pushed off the track. Which means now Sam is back in second place and Max O'Connor in third. Ayrton losing all the positions there now on his old hard tires. And that's his strategy definitely thrown out of the window, as he's basically letting CRB and Ayub Khan past, as well as Wyfoon. His wing must be damaged there. Which is terrible, terrible news for him indeed. And Max O'Connor is swarming all the way over the back there of Sam, who's feeling the pressure from behind. Pixon as well is quite in contention. PW Jones is keeping on the pressure on all the cars ahead of him as well, as they can see Jesko disappearing into the distance, at least for now, as his tires are quite a bit older than all the cars behind him. And PW Jones then has the fastest tires at the moment. However, they're already 6 laps old and he still has 10 to go after this one. So will his tires hold out? Surprised he didn't switch there as Ayub overtook Wyfoon, but something went completely wrong there. So that means Wyfoon is out of the points at the moment. CRB in the meanwhile overtaking Relax in a spot you didn't expect it. So there you go, he's now up into 7th place. Still, despite 14 drivers still in the race, only 14 drivers in the race I should say, still a lot of things happening. Back to the head of the field there, as Jesko is still leading by 2.2 seconds. The gap is, well, it's not really shrinking that much just yet. Maybe the guys behind him are saving their tires for the time being. PW Jones still putting on the pressure of Pixon just ahead of him. DRS will be enabled in the next lap. So that is where the opportunities might get to be. CRB then starting slowly to feel the pressure behind him. Relax and Ayub Khan, the men who are at the front of the grid at the start of the race, are now fighting it out for P8 and P9. Is something possible for these two drivers still? Look at Ayub, he's going for it for an overtake on the inside. Another place you wouldn't expect an overtake there. It's very, very tight, it's very hard racing, but it looks like it's fair for the time being. This is the racing we want to see here in Tier 3, as they're still going side by side into the long left-hander. And now the tricky bit is coming. It is Relax who's holding it out for the time being. Ayub having to cut a bit of the track to make sure he stays in one piece, and that means he's having to give out the position for now, which immediately puts him under pressure. from four-door sedan, who in turn is being pressurized by XTXP. Never mind that, as XTXP is getting pushed wide there by Hacko in the Williams, up into 11th place, and it looks like some front wing damage for the Aston Martin driver as well. That means definitely no points for them. Just going into the pit lane for some reason. Don't know why, probably to serve his time penalty, I think. But he's lost the win for now. That means now Sam is leading, Max O'Connor in second, and Pixon in third. Pressurized by PW Jones. XTP retiring in the pit lane. So that's both Aston Martins out of the race. Wow. Hello, Wash driver. Let's see what will happen now. Jesko, a fresh set of soft tires, far behind the rest. I think he's praying for a 5th safety car, but I doubt that one will come. But I think his tires wouldn't last much longer. Hecko, in the meanwhile, pressurizing four-door sedan for 9th place. Ayub Khan then going all in on Relax. He's still fighting with the man ahead of him. These two drivers are on the same level, with Relax having much older tires. Somehow he's keeping his McLaren ahead of the AlphaTauri there. How long can he hold it up? He's no longer within DRS range of the car ahead, which means Ayub can now go on the all-out offense, and here he comes. Will he have a first go here? No, not yet, as four-door sedan is having to defend hard there from Hecko DK, who's swarming all the way on his back. Quickly back to the lead of the field though, as we see Max O'Connor trying to pressurize Sam for the lead of the race. No penalties for the entire top 5, top 6 in fact. So it's all to play for there. Let's see who will make the first move. Max O'Connor is having a look, but he's still too far away. And look at the rear over there. Far behind is Ayub Khan, finally getting ahead of Relax. His fresh tires finally doing the work they're supposed to do. In the meanwhile, now Relax has another problem, as four-door sedan is having a go on the inside, but look at the late braking from Relax. An absolute gorgeous move around the outside to keep his position, braking earlier and then getting more speed into the corner. Absolutely fantastic defending, which is absolutely great to see. Wow. So four-door sedan, for now, he's gonna have to stick behind the McLaren. 7 laps to go after this one, and the race for the lead is going on, and it's going on hard, especially between Max O'Connor and Sam, as PW Jones is almost going side by side there with the Mercedes. His tires are still working quite well, but can he make them last until the end of the race? That's the big question, as Hacko is finally getting ahead of four-door sedan now into 9th place. The Williamses are going to score some good points here tonight. They are making the most of the carnage, I can safely say that. Another go then. Can PW Jones pull it off this time? Can Max O'Connor pull it off this time? Not just yet. All these tires are about as old. PW Jones has got less old tires, but his compound is softer, which means, I think, more or less the tires are the same quality at the moment. Hacko then moving ahead of Relax as well, but Relax this time trying to defend on the inside, getting spun out by the Williams there. And that's another note to add to the disastrous diary of this man, and he now decides to crash his car into the wall. He's absolutely done with this race, and not sure if the FIA is going to be too happy with that move. Either that or he just lost his car again. But it's no good for the man in the McLaren. Back to the head of the field. There's only 2 teams with 2 cars in the points, that being AlphaTauri and Williams. No, correct me wrong there. Haas has got 2 cars in the points as well. In fact, Grenade Goran is closing in on the leader. It's great news for him, by the way, because he's currently ahead of Ayub Khan. Although Ayub is quickly closing the gap to all of the cars ahead of him. Will he still have a chance at whatever podium position might be there for him? Can he do it? That's the big question. And the yellow flag has Relax crashed the car. And that means a virtual safety car. Thank God it's not another normal safety car. It's not a safety car, not to worry, not to worry. It's all fine. A virtual safety car, we can handle that today, can we? Right? Please? 12 drivers remain. The Sam guy just seems cracked. Well, he's absolutely on fire. Let's see, yeah, he started in the second place. He fell down quite a bit after several safety cars. And he's back in the lead. And we are back racing, and Wyfoon is going to drive through a penalty for, well, speeding under the virtual safety car. There he goes then. Bad news for him. DRS, of course, is immediately re-enabled, which allows Max O'Connor to stay with the race leader. But this battle is going to be tough, and it's going to be very exciting, as CRB is putting on some serious pressure on Grenade Goran, trying to get ahead into the top 5. And of course, Ayub Khan would like as well. Here he is, hanging around in P7, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And it looks like CRB is now very, very close. It's only 0.3 of a second, but it's not going to be enough going into turn 1. Looks like there's just no DRS for Grenade Goran. Actually, there is, so I stand corrected there. He's still keeping up with the cars ahead of him, and PW Jones, despite his old soft tires, is still hanging on. He's doing really well there. Made up 9 places from the race start. He's about to touch the podium places, but it's going to be tough. Especially in about 2 laps time, when those tires are going to be falling off quite badly, I'm afraid. 4 laps to go after this one, so 3.5 in fact. And we're having an exciting battle all the way down to P7 from the leader. And the one who still wants to gain the most position is probably this man who led the race at the race start and got screwed by the many safety cars. Got screwed by a drive-through penalty, and he's still hanging around in the points because there's 8 drivers that will not finish this race. I've got no words. Here he comes, and now he's really close. Now Ayub is really, really close, and he's got in a really good position to try and have a go. And CRB is giving it everything. No battery usage though, and Ayub is gonna have to hang around just a little bit. Can he do it here though? On the second straight, the second DRS part. He's having a look, he's getting really close, he's almost pushing the car, he's gonna send it into the inside, nearly touching Grenade Goran there, but he manages to do it. He manages to do it, defend and attack at the same time there, because he gone a bit deep there if I'm honest, but he did it. He managed to do it into P6. Well done there by the championship leader. Now he's right behind his main rival. Grenade Goran is in P5 at the moment, but he did get a 3-second time penalty. So that's terrible news there for the men in second place in the drivers. Can he hold on? He will have to pray that Ayub Khan will get a 3-second time penalty as well. Otherwise, it's going to be hard on points for him tonight. Look at this man, he's absolutely pushing his tires to the maximum limit they can possibly have. He's pushing Pixon so hard. He really wants that podium place. And in the meanwhile, look at this. The leader of the race, his name is Max O'Connor, the McLaren in the lead at the moment. But his battery is starting to suffer, as Sam still got plenty of it, at least compared to the McLaren driver. 3 laps to go. There's still everything to play for. The battle for P1 and P2. The battle for 3rd and 4th. All of them are raging on madly. And Sam is having a look. He's not having a go. I think he's just going to wait. He knows the battery of Max is low. He saw the light flashing on the rear of his car. So while Max O'Connor is leading for now, he's definitely not safe. He still has to hold out for 2 more laps after this one. Ayub Khan then getting the 3-second penalty that Grenade Goran has hoped for. I'm afraid I jinxed him. So that means they're both on equal ground again now. They will lose several positions there thanks to that. Wyfoon retiring from the race in the meanwhile. That's 9 retirements out of 20. Backstand. Oh, sorry. Sam biding his time. And trying to have a go at the proper moment. Maybe he's going to wait till the last lap, which is a risk. He's having a look. He's letting Max know he's there. Max's battery's still very low. Sam waiting it out. Max is going to fight hard. I know he is going to. But it's going to be tough. Oh dear, side by side before the final corner is even happening between Ayub and Grenade Goran there. And he's going to try and route the outside as Grenade Goran defends the inside. In the meanwhile, Sam is trying to go around the outside of Max O'Connor. He somehow still manages to defend that quite well there, as Ayub Khan still is hanging behind Grenade Goran at the moment. And now Pixon is coming in to have a look at Sam, and Sam is trying to send it around the outside, and he spins him out. It's absolute disaster for the race leader there. A bit too aggressive there from Sam, I'm afraid. And somehow that means now Pixon is leading the race. Ayub Khan in the meanwhile getting past Grenade Goran, nearly losing control of his car. There is absolute chaos everywhere. Up, down, left, right, center. And another touch there. I'm afraid Grenade Goran went a bit wide there into the gravel. He is. And that's absolute terrible. Both Haases. Oh, dearie me. Max O'Connor, I'm afraid he might have a bit of damage there. Well, PW Jones was trying to get past. The Williams nearly got pushed off the track over there. I think Max is not pleased at the moment, at least from the looks of how he's driving right now. But he has no choice, he has to let him past. PW Jones then up into the podium places. Ayub Khan now probably is going to extend his lead if he manages to claim even more positions there. I'm not entirely sure how many points Pixon and Sam have, for example. There's one lap to go now. Max O'Connor trying to hold Ayub Khan behind, but I'm afraid the front wing damage is a bit too much. I'm 100% positive there is damage to his car there, as he's really slow at the moment. But Ayub Khan still has to get past. And I don't think Max has to fight him too hard, as he does have 3-second penalty, the Ayub Khan man has. And he's gone past into 4th place now. But he's too far behind PW Jones to make any move. Sam, in the meanwhile, is still pressuring the leader. He can still win this race, although the FIA is going to have a big look at the move he made on Max O'Connor, which, at least from our point of view, wasn't the cleanest I've ever seen. Half a lap to go. Still to play for the lead of the race. Pixon can win this if he can hold it out. He's got more battery than Sam has. Sam is using it all at the moment, but Pixon can use some more coming up very soon. Sam is very, very close behind him now. One more chance for him to gain the lead of the race, at least for now. Will he be able to do it? He's getting very close, but it's not going to be close enough, I'm afraid. No, Pixon is keeping the lead, and Sam is getting very close, incredibly close, nearly pushing the Mercedes across the line there. And there they come, the top two. 2 seconds ahead of PW Jones. And the race winner, ladies and gentlemen, I think he's going to be surprised himself. Pixon wins the Australian Grand Prix. Sam is coming home second. PW Jones then in 3rd place. He probably didn't expect then. Ayub Khan, after a mighty recovery, into 4th. Max O'Connor clung into P5. 4-door sedan in 6th. CRB then in P7. Hecko in P8. Jesko finishing in 9th after his late pit stop. And Grenade Goran then finishing the top 10. And the only driver finishing outside of the points is this man here, Ayrton Torleschi. And that's it. So many things have happened tonight. 4 safety cars, 1 virtual safety car, 9 DNFs. But a deserved winner. Pixon staying out of all the trouble. Taking it home for Mercedes. And that was it, ladies and gentlemen. What can we say about this? Well, at least it's one of the drivers who started pretty high up the top 10. He started in 3rd and he won it. Sam, at least for now, ends up in 2nd place. Let's see what the FIA says about the moves happening. PW Jones from P13 to P3, absolutely gorgeous there. I think that's the driver of the day for me, staying out of all the trouble. Ayub Khan back into 4th after being screwed by strategies and drive-thrus. Max O'Connor in 5th, 4 Dorseden in 6th, and so on. The entire list for you right here. So then, a lot of things will be said about this race. The FIA is going to have an extremely busy time. Well, I think to be fair, several drivers have been robbed of their victory, one way or another. Let's see anyway if there is going to be any interview or any driver willing to give us some thoughts on the race. I hope to hear from the race leader at least. I hope to hear from Sam and PW Jones as well. So let's see if they join the interview waiting room. I'm going to remind them a bit their interviews available. Freeride reminded them as well. Thank you very much for that. Yep, I think it's wisest to let the FIA have a look at the Sam Max incident. They'll eventually, of course, be the ones who make the decision on that anyway. Regardless, let's bring in the man who came in P3. It's PW Jones. Let me see if I can unmute him. There we go. First of all, PW Jones, congratulations. That's a podium for you there. But we're going to be honest, you probably didn't see that one coming, did you? Yeah, as you said, you tried to stay out of trouble. I think you somehow succeeded despite all the chaos and the carnage going on everywhere. And you had the soft tires at the end. I'm very curious about that strategy.
The safety car and a virtual safety car, so my tyres were fine to the end.
Okay, so that's a bit of luck for you there. Unfortunately, the viewers couldn't hear you during the first part of the interview. But as you said, you were surprised by your victory. And you said your qualifying wasn't up to par, so to say.
No. I need to work on my qualifying. For some reason, I'm further down the grid than my pace is, I think. So I don't quite understand why I'm so bad in qualifying. I always seem to pull it back in the race, but it's something to work on, I guess.
Well, let's see what you can do in the next few races out. Do you think you'll have a shot at anything in the top 3 for the drivers?
No, I doubt it very much. I think if I keep going the way I'm going, I'll be happy with a top 10 finish. Hopefully top 5, but I doubt you'll see me anywhere at the top of the Drivers' Championship.
All right, well, then I hope you will enjoy this podium extra.
Yeah.
Congratulations, enjoy the P3, and let's see what you can do next time.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See you next time.
Then the man who nearly won it tonight, Sam, has joined us here. Sam, first and foremost, that is a second place for you there, the place you started in during the start of the race. So many things happened, so I'd like to hear your point of view. Let's start with the first few safety cars there in terms of strategy.
Well, I was quite happy with the qualifying, first of all. Coming P2, I was quite surprised. And yeah, the first safety cars were a bit annoying. They really broke up the rhythm of the race, but I think I made the right decision on strategy up until, for all of them really. I always felt like I was in a good position compared to the rest of the drivers.
Yeah, we saw you halfway down the grid at some points and a bit lower even. And then at the end you were fighting for the lead with Max O'Connor and the McLaren. And then we saw Max O'Connor spinning out. You tried to go around the outside. He tried to defend the inside. What exactly happened there from your point of view?
Well, first of all, I've talked to Max in the DMs on Discord about the incident. There's no hard feelings about it. He's obviously annoyed and angry about it, and I can understand how he feels. But yeah, I mean, obviously, running out of time in the race, I made the mistake a few laps before and lost the lead. And he was blinking on the red light on the back of his car, so I knew I had an opportunity. And I was losing a lot of time through the end of sector 2 or start of sector 3. So I guess there's a bit of desperation behind it. I tried to go around the outside. I didn't expect to. I mean, he defended quite heavily, defended quite well, I thought, down the inside. And under braking, I think I locked the rears and had some oversteer and hit him, and then caused the incident. So, not my finest moment, but I have read the MRL chat afterwards, and there's been a bit of dogfighting in the chat, which I didn't think was appropriate.
Yeah, let's hope those things will calm down soon. And well, you know, the FIA will have a look at the many incidents for sure. It was quite a chaotic race, but in the end, you managed to get back into second place. So you must be happy.
Oh yeah, I mean, the qualifying really sold it for me. I think I was quite surprised at that. So to keep the position after quali and to lead the race for a good part of it, I'm quite pleased with that. And
some strong points for the team as well. So good job on you. Congratulations. Enjoy the podium.
Thank you.
Cheers. Pixon, unfortunately, will not be joining us tonight. According to himself, his English is very, very bad. But still, I'm quite sure he'll be extremely happy with the win of the race tonight. But man, oh man, what a race. And yeah, chat, to be honest, I think Sam was kind of already admitting that it at least was partly his fault there. So yeah. Let's hope things will calm down. Just make sure to keep it civilized, keep it nice, keep it clean. You know, racing can sometimes get pretty heated. And that's when emotions can run pretty high. So my general tip, especially I said it to myself when I crash out of a league race. Just take 5 minutes and then have another look at what happens. It usually does miracles, at least for me it does. Despite my calmness, I can get pretty upset at DNFs as well. But, you know, things happen. It's happened. FIA is going to have a look at it. And there's nothing more you can do. So keep it nice, keep it friendly. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you enjoyed this race despite all the chaos and the carnage and the safety cars and the interesting things that happen on track. You know, it's always fun to commentate when things happen. And today was no different. My voice is held out as well, so yay to that. That means you will hear from me tomorrow in Tier 2. Let's see what they will make of this tricky and pretty scary track. Thank you for joining. Have a great good morning, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are. And see you next time. Goodbye.